Are you ready to embrace imperfection? That's a tricky thing as somebody that loves design and details and chaotic structure in a way. To me, that is such a fun part of creating, is knowing that you're not going to reach perfection. I mean, unless, even if you have a ruler, even in cases like that, it's hard to get something perfect in a traditional sense. So I've kind of given up that notion. I know that my journey as an artist is to create. I don't sit and draw and go, "Oh my, I just need to make sure this line is flawless." That's not why I create. I create to create. And I think that, people have said, "Oh, do you use rulers, or anything in your work?" And I'm like, "No, it's all by hand." And I get good at creating straight lines and they look visually balanced, but are they perfect? No. And do I want to use a ruler in some cases? Yes, I do. And I want to just make them perfect and straight and all, but that's part of the journey. I need to learn to draw better. If I want it to be as balanced as possible, I need to work on developing my technique. And I've been doing it for over 20 years and I'm still not perfect, but that's part of the journey. And again, that's not why I create, is to make a perfect line. But my drawings to me are visually balanced and pleasing, and that's part of my own structure of what are my guidelines of what when I create a piece of art. And again, that's the only rules or kind of guidelines I have in what I do, is what I choose that to be. Does my line need to be perfect? No. Is it a constant balance of trying to get it to be perfect? Partially, but again, overall, the main goal for me is to create. And perfection, again, when you're starting to draw something, is that your goal, perfection? Because in my case, it's not. Mine is just to create as much as I possibly can and to get out all of the ideas I have. So some days I'll just draw new drawings, and some days I just want to do the fill work. And so doing the fill work, that's where my precision comes into play. But if you're looking for perfection, that's going to slow you down, because you will be afraid to create new work because you'll be afraid that you're not going to make it perfect. And so I don't worry about that anymore. I just create and create and create. And there's a lot of stuff I create that I don't really like. It's not something that I would spend any time finishing. And it may be pens fluctuate as far as the line quality goes, and you don't have any control over that. So I could get done with a really amazing drawing and want to do the fill work, but I can't, because I would have to redraw almost every line because the pen was running out of ink or something like that. But again, don't worry about perfection, because that's in your eye, if it's perfect or not. Who else is going to tell you, "Oh, that line doesn't look right," or this and that? So don't use that as a stumbling block to not create. Don't worry about being perfect, because you will always get better and your lines will be more refined. Your paintings, drawings, anything will be more balanced. So again, that's just your own mindset into getting away from being perfect or having imperfections, because something like AI, well, AI could do it perfectly in a way, but there's no human element to that. So I think it's kind of fun when I stagger a line on accident, or it's not perfectly balanced, because that's your human traits, and that's being human. So I like those little imperfections in my drawings. Most people would never see them. I see them, but that's okay, and I accept that. And again, just let it be a process and enjoy that, but don't let imperfections or being perfect stop you from creating.